Welcome back, viewers at home. You're still tuned in right here on INX Prime Channel 345, where we are here to leave you inspired, informed, and definitely plugging you with amazing opportunities. Now, this evening, I am joined by my guest who goes by the name of Nokuzola Mokwaai. My apologies if I butcher your surname, who is actually the project, or rather project coordinator at K Boneng Consulting. Now, one thing about this K Boneng Consulting Services, it is based in Johannesburg as well as Zanin. Now, to find out more on this organization and the work that they're doing, I am joined by Nokuzola. Nokuzola, good evening and welcome to Prime Live.
Thank you so much, and you did not butcher my name or my surname. Thank you so much.
Now, for individuals, I love how we had a behind-the-scenes conversations. Quite amazing, quite interesting. But just to reel in our audience to understanding what K Boneng is all about, how would you best describe it?
We are a private institution that offers qualifications from your learnership programs, skills programs, and NATED qualifications like your N4 to N6 in business studies, your N1 to N6 in engineering studies. So we are actually a training provider.
Now, when we're looking at training providers, we always hear different stories on what really inspired the startup or them being located at a certain place, like you guys are located in Johannesburg as well as Zanin. I want to know, what are the key intentions in providing some of these, educational learnerships as well as programs?
The main thing that K Boneng focuses on is empowerment. And there is a huge unemployment rate amongst the youth. And every year there's a number of matriculants who are completing their matric, but they have nothing to do after that. Yeah. That's where we come in. And we're also trying to focus on some of the scarce skills that some people shy away from. You look at the construction industry, not a lot of people are open into going to the construction industry because it looks like it is a hard labor and all of that, but there's a lot of growth in those industries. So we're looking at empowering the youth, closing the gap within the unemployment space, and also empowering them so that they could also have their own businesses at the end of the day.
Amazing. Now let's get to some of these skill sets or specific courses that you guys are actually offering to some of the students, and how do they go about gaining access to them? Is it a matter of, we know with your regular TVT colleges and universities and some of the bursaries that fund some of these learnerships, it's a matter of you register and then there's a bit of a criteria there. If you can just take us through the process with K Boneng.
So with our qualifications, it will vary on what the student is interested in. Okay. If you're interested in business studies within our NATED phase, you need to have a matric. A matric will get you into an N4. Okay. If you're interested in our engineering studies, a grade 9 is good enough to start you at N1. Then you work your way all the way to N6. Our learnership programs will also vary, looking at the NQF level that it is. When you look at construction, building and civil construction, NQF level 3, you need a grade 10. But when you look at systems development, NQF level 5, you need a grade 12. So those are the criteria that we look at to say this would be fitting for somebody with this qualification or minimum qualification. When you look at our artisan programs where you can train for 3 years and become an electrician, a minimum of grade 9 is enough to get you into our programs.
Now, I liked earlier on you touched on unemployment, which is something that we are all trying to sort of get rid of. And I just want to understand from your view, in what way does K Boneng now come in assisting in trying to curb away this unemployment rate?
You know what we did with the Ekurhuleni group of learners? Mm-hmm. We said, okay, fine, we're going to give them a learnership program that's going to sustain them for 12 months. Yeah. Within the learnership program, they're getting their theoretical training, they're getting workplace training, and they're also receiving a monthly stipend for the duration of 12 months. And right now, most of the programs that are implemented with a stipend, there's a contribution towards UIF. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the program, the learner is then able to claim the UI contributions in the event that they have not secured employment. So what we also did post the learnership program was train 152 students from the initial 738, of which 671 of them will be graduating. We took 152 of them and we said, okay guys, we trained you in 3 different qualifications. How about then we give you business skills as to, should you want to venture into a business in the qualification that you have, what are the skills that you need to know? What's the information that you need to know? How do you build your business profile? How do you register a business? How do you take take care of your SARS. So that is how we are trying to close the gap to say, we're not just going to give you that a stipend for 24 months, but you can also do other things post the learnership program.
Now we know for sure that, you know, individuals, if we take a visual drive down to Tzaneen, where individuals just know going to school and after school having to hustle to see how do I make ends meet, be it getting a job or probably creating an opportunity, and looking here at the, you know, Johannesburg hub or at the Ekurhuleni in particular the region, where individuals like they matriculate and now having to scavenge and compete with the world or with individuals who probably come from privilege. I want to know from you per se, what would you say are some of the work that needs to be done and that is being done by K Boneng in instilling that confidence and esteem? Because I think with opportunities, when they come, it's at times it's accessible, but at times it wants an individual who can say, you know what, I deserve that. As much as I'm coming from wherever, I deserve that.
You know, K Boneng wants to grow, and K Boneng cannot grow on its own. So the best thing that K Boneng can do is to ensure that we look at what is needed by the community, what is needed by the society, what is needed by the youth, and to say, okay, fine, you matriculated. What is it that you have? What is it that you're interested in? Take the qualifications to the people, because in most instances, people finish matric, they've got distinctions, and they were like, I'm going to Gauteng. How many people are coming to Gauteng each and every year? So what K Boneng is trying to do year after year, we are constantly trying to broaden our accreditation so that we are able to cater for a lot of people who are interested in a variety of qualifications. So the best thing that we can do is to take the skills to the people so that they don't have to leave their homes. The minute you leave Tzaneen and come into Gauteng, it's an expense on its own. But if the skill is within your area, then you don't have to spend much.
Speaking about uplifting and supporting those communities, I want to know what other initiative is K Boneng busy with in terms of bringing it to the people and making it more accessible?
You know, we are trying so hard to stay in touch, to stay in contact with our students who have completed their qualifications with us. And we have them on our databases to say, be that light to that next person, to say, I did this qualification with K Boneng and this is where they have placed me. As much as we are training and development in the company, but we're also trying to put qualified students into companies where they can get their experience. Somebody who has an N6 in business management but does not know exactly what entails as a person within the space, we then try and place them with companies where they will be able to learn the skills. Somebody who has graduated in financial management and is now looking for a job and cannot find a job, mostly because you do not have the experience to be hired. And then we're like, oh, okay, there is a budget for that. Let us then help you to find an institution where you will come in as a financial person, being a junior to somebody else or mirroring somebody else, so that you can then learn those skills. So that is how we are trying to do things that are normally outside our norm.
Now, one thing with a lot of, you know, institutions that are out here giving free learnerships and so many programs to those who are underprivileged or disadvantaged, it's a matter of ensuring that you have the right partnership so you can go a long way. And I believe under your guys' umbrella, you have a beautiful partnership with the likes of Department of Health, Department of Basic Education, as well as Pick and Pay franchises. I want to know from you, what role or significance does that play for K Boneng?
It's a huge role. Like I said earlier on, we can't do it on our own. These students need places where they can go and say, this is where I learned my skills. This is where I was placed for a certain duration. This is where I got exposure on my qualification beyond what I was taught in class. The Department of Health coming through was a huge advantage to us because they opened the hospitals where our students were in their kitchens. Our students were in the reception area. Our students were opening files for patients who were coming to the hospital. You look at the Department of Basic Education, we know how overworked most of our teachers are and how the department is not really hiring, but they're constantly dependent on the assistant teachers. They are there to assist the teachers, but who is doing the administration? That is where our students then came in. And we are grateful for such partnerships because it's not easy to come to somebody and be like, I know what I'm bringing, and it's going to benefit us both. In the end, it benefited the institutions where the students were placed. Having Pick and Pay come on board was actually huge, because it's not easy to get a franchise coming on board to help another private company through government funding. So they opened their doors to us. They made it easy for us to place our students under their supervision. And at the end of the day, they were quite happy, and they were actually looking forward to having more learners with them.
Now, we know with many, especially educational institutions, it's a matter of where did you study, and some of the, the reputation the institute has for itself. Now, to sell K Boneng to the many individuals who haven't really heard about it, or heard about it and they're like, hey, what's going on? Because, there's a lot that people are being scammed out here, be it for job opportunities, be it for getting, the necessary qualifications that they need. How would you sell it to our audience?
We deliver. We deliver. Students enroll with us, they exit their programs, they get certificated. Recently, we had 7 construction learners who graduated, who actually did not graduate, but who got tested for their trade. They are now qualified artisans in bricklaying. We deliver. We do not just enroll people. We do not take students in so that we can say we gave so many people a skills program, we gave so many people a learnership program, and we gave them a stipend at the end of the day. Hence the graduation that we are hosting, to say we deliver. We train you. We ensure that you have the necessary skills, be it theoretical, be it practical. You get exposure into the qualification that you are enrolled for, and then you get certified. The accreditations that we have are there to ensure that we deliver what we promised on.
Now, Nokuzola, for individuals, usually when we tune into any show, it's a matter of we want that sense of inspiration and motivation that will make you understand that whatever you're going through is small waters. You know what, you can reach for the stars. What message of advice or inspiration would you leave, especially our young viewers at home who are trying to make something out of their lives, who are trying to break that generational cycle of poverty, of being uneducated, amongst others?
There's a time and season for everything. You are also going through your season. Summer does not last for the entire year. It only lasts for a couple of months, in 12 months. Enjoy the season. At the end of the season, there will be something that you can look back to and say, that is why I went through that. You are currently in a very, very deprived environment. You are unemployed, or you are living in a family that is dependent on a grant. You could be the summer for your family when you then get that opportunity to enroll with institutions like us and eventually get a job where you are able to take care of your family and take care of yourself. Enjoy the season. It is not going to last forever.
Nokuzola, thank you so much for joining us this evening in the studio and sharing the beautiful work that you guys are doing at K Boneng, and seeing the beautiful work in terms of, giving access, especially since education is key, giving them that access and allowing them to grow and thrive within whatever, dreams they have. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
It's been a great pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Viewers at home, you heard K Boneng's why. They deliver. Do not despair any further. Make sure you do, contact them through their socials and actually assign yourself so you can gain that key to education and that key to success. Because one thing we do not want, no man left behind. But on that note, let's head over to a net break. See you when we come back.